Good morning and welcome to For the District, the JMCSS podcast. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. CTE and college and career preparedness are changing in the state of Tennessee. JMCSS is on the front line of that change. Joining me this morning is our Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. Teresa McSweeney. Dr. McSweeney, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Greg.
And welcome to For the District.
Thank you.
Episode 10. You made the top 10.
I made the top 10.
Dr. McSweeney, we're going to start this morning the way we always start when we have our guests. And you're old Northside Indian.
I am.
I'm an old Southside Hawks. I got to ask, when you graduated coming out of Northside, did you know you wanted to get into education?
I did know that I wanted to be a teacher. I felt called to be a teacher. Interesting story, my senior year, a scholarship was available, and the senior English teacher, Miss Faye Harden, said, "Is anyone interested in this scholarship?" And I raised my hand and quickly put it back down because my peers said, "You want to be a teacher? Why do you want to be a teacher?" And Miss Harden wrote in my senior yearbook, "It is a loss to our profession that you changed your mind about the scholarship." So yes, over the years I would peek at that, and I did major in education in college, and then decided to go a different route. And I was in marketing, and I sold windows and doors for a millwork company, and knew I had missed my calling. So I went back to Union, got my teaching certificate, continued to pursue degrees, and then found my place in the classroom.
Well, we are glad you made that switch. Dr. Teresa McSweeney has worked in administration in Tennessee and Alabama, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
You're the Chief Innovation Officer, and I'm sure you have several other titles. But I will remember you and know you as the mother of our virtual learning space. You were the first principal of JASA, of our cyber school. And so, but now you're the Chief Innovation Officer. What do you do in that role?
So that role is really fun. The state challenged districts to reimagine time, space, modes of learning, and partnerships. So that means when students learn, where students learn, how students learn, and then how we engage our industry partners within the community. And to incentivize districts, they offered a grant. And Jackson-Madison County Schools was chosen as one of those 21 districts to pilot that first model. So we wrote our model based on rebranding our CTE programs, bringing innovation alive, thinking about the defining moments, the dreams that our students have, the inspiration that our teachers have, and how we can bring that into the classroom. So in reimagining how we can then take that out of the classroom. So what are those experiences? Authentic, we call them authentic learning experiences, where they're really, really applying that classroom knowledge in a real world application.
When I've looked at your work over the last year and a half, there's this convergence. And that was a very popular word in communication several years ago, where radio and television and internet converged. In your work, CTE and innovation have converged for the benefit of the student. And I know there are 3 big areas in our school system where folks can see that immediate change. And I know one of those classes is BioSTEM. Tell us about that.
Yes, so BioSTEM is led by Miss Danielle Shaw-Jones. Miss Shaw-Jones was a biology teacher, is a biology teacher, turned CTE, came over to the CTE side, but she had a vision. She could see the importance of applying those biology standards and terms that she was teaching to real-life applications. She did a little research on her own and found that Tennessee offers a CTE pathway in BioSTEM. And most people don't know what BioSTEM really is. So BioSTEM is a term that refers to research, laboratory research. So it's medical, but it could also be agricultural. And it's actually an $800 billion industry and is expected to grow in the state of Tennessee by 13.9% over the next 5 years. So there are jobs in the BioSTEM industry coming to Tennessee. That's how Ms. Danielle Shaw-Jones got inspired to bring that to her classroom, and now it has become an actual pathway and one of our Innovation Impact Institutes within the district.
We're visiting with Dr. Teresa McSweeney. She's the Chief Innovation Officer for the Jackson-Madison County School System. And I'll back up just for a moment, and we throw around acronyms. Folks, for the first time maybe hearing CTE. Look at career and technical education. But if you think about it this way, there are your core classes that you take, your math, your science, your English, your social studies.
Right.
Career and technical education classes very uniquely prepare students for certain career fields.
Yes.
And so the innovation department, your department, has really provided a shot in the arm to CTE to enhance these career options. BioSTEM being one of them.
Right.
There was the white coat ceremony at Northside High School. Talk about that for a moment.
Yes. So again, you mentioned that we're just into really 1 year of the innovation department. The innovation department is just a little over a year old, and BioSTEM is a program that we just started in August. So those students already within the first quarter of school earned a certification that allowed them to qualify for their white coat. And the ceremony was really quite spectacular. The students were very proud of their accomplishments. Ms. Shaw Jones, of course, was very proud of her students. Thank you for attending. But what that does, again, we're creating those defining moments, those moments that when a student looks back in school, they're less likely to remember a test or a quiz, certainly a lecture, but they're definitely going to remember those moments when they stood on a stage and earned their white coat in front of industry partners, in front of district leaders, in front of their peers and their families, and put on that white coat as a lab tech, as a high school lab tech apprentice, sort of, so that's what we want to do in the Department of Innovation, is bring in more of those defining moments for our students.
So why does this conversation matter? If you're a parent of a high school student or a middle school student, if you're a grandparent, if you're an aunt, if you're an uncle, when you hear us talk about these classes, we encourage you to ask your student, hey, do you know about these classes? Are you taking a CTE class? Are you taking a career and technical education class? Are you preparing for a particular career field? And Dr. McSweeney, can you just, a general statement talking about the advantage of a student in their sophomore or junior year getting connected in a particular career field in terms of, launching future success? Can you talk about the importance of that?
Yes. So research shows that students are more likely to be successful in high school if they have been exposed to careers in middle school. So we've implemented a career assessment, a career interest inventory to help students to have an idea of what careers they're interested in. That helps funnel them into a career tech education program that matches their interests and their aptitudes. Then if once they're really engulfed in that program, they go into a deeper study of one particular area that interests them, then when they graduate from high school, they have an idea of their career path. And so it's really important that we make sure that we are, of course, developing students' creativity, that we're developing their interest, but that we're also helping to guide them in their career decisions as well, because ultimately our job as educators is to ensure that our state, that our region, that our county, or beyond that within our country, that our students are employable, that they are ready to go to work, and that we've trained them for work.
We're visiting with Dr. Teresa McSweeney. She's the Chief Innovation Officer for the Jackson-Madison County School System. We will continue this conversation after the break. We've talked BioSTEM. We'll talk about two more new exciting career fields that have started up here in the Jackson-Madison County School System. You're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM.
Hi, I'm Tad Pohl, host of the Morning Splash on Froggy 104, and a proud JMCSS parent. My wife and I chose Jackson-Madison County Schools for our kids. Brooklyn is an honor roll student who has found an aptitude for art and is also a member of her school choir. And the twins are getting excellent instruction in pre-K and learning valuable social skills. The kids love their schools and their teachers, and we are very proud to be JMCSS parents. Jackson-Madison County School System is a Level 5 district and tuition free. It just makes sense.
Hi, I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. With an increased focus in the fine arts, athletics, workforce development, and early career opportunities for students, there's never been a better time to choose us. Tuition-free, Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org today to schedule a tour or call 731-345-7011.
Hello, I'm Elias, a star student at Arlington Elementary School. You're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to For the District, the JMCSS podcast. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. This morning, I am joined by our Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. Teresa McSweeney. She's giving us information about new, exciting classes in the Jackson-Madison County School System that are being offered at the high school level to prepare students for those budding career fields. We're preparing for the future. We talked about BioSTEM in the first segment. Now, Dr. McSweeney, we're at a radio station.
Yes.
We're at a radio station that uses video cameras. So I think this is a good time to talk about the digital media.
Digital Arts Production, the DAP program.
Oh, really? Say that again.
Digital Arts Production, the DAP,
Okay.
DAP program. I can't take credit for that. That came from Mr. Cheney, the instructor.
And this is being offered at JCM.
This is at JCM. So one of the ideas with our Innovation Impact Institutes is to ensure that each high school has a program that's unique to that school, that is also special for the students. So with our digital arts production, we have audio visual at other schools, as you well know.
Southside High School.
And excellent programs. But what we really wanted to do with our JCM program is focus on the music aspect of that. And so we have purchased individual recording studios for students so that they have a keyboard, they have the software that they need to incorporate different instruments within that digital music, and they can actually complete a production of original art, within that studio.
This is happening now at JCM.
This is happening now at JCM. We were able to recruit Byron Cheney. He's an industry professional. Some of you would recognize. You can Google him and find out some of the places that he has actually performed, and has an impressive resume. And he has done an outstanding job. Again, can't say enough about the leaders of these institutes and what they're inspiring to our students to do.
If you're listening to this on the radio, we want to encourage you to check out our social media, check out YouTube, and the YouTube episode of this podcast, this episode, so that you can see the photos of the equipment that Dr. McSweeney is talking about. And so when you think about BioSTEM, it's preparing students for careers in the medical field, in agriculture. When you think about DAP, Digital Arts Production, what careers is that specifically preparing students for?
Sure. So we have partnered with Avid Pro Tools. Avid Pro Tools is a software program that's probably recognized in the industry. I hope. I'm looking around to see if y'all recognize. Okay, good. And our students, if they complete the program and complete all the requirements, they will graduate with an Avid Pro Tools certification. They'll be listed in the Avid Pro Tools database. They will be employable upon high school graduation if they complete all the requirements. And a lab tech could start in the Nashville area around $60,000 to $80,000 as a production tech right out of high school. So that's really our goal, is to find those areas where where students can earn industry credentials that make them employable. We definitely want them to pursue post-secondary education as well. And we have a program here at the University of Memphis in production, and then MTSU right down the road has an excellent program. There, we're a musical community.
That's right.
And having lived in other communities, I really came to appreciate the talent that we have in Jackson, in Madison County. But this is a way for us to tap into that and really inspire the creativity. And I hope you will go to see the video. One particular video of the student, you can't hear what he's producing because he's wearing headphones. But the joy on his face and the laughter that comes from his heart and soul, when he's creating, is exactly, again, that's what we're about. That's the innovation that we want to see in our schools.
Again, if you're listening to this, and it matters because if you have a child in high school, a child in middle school, a niece, a nephew, a grandson, ask them about these classes. Ask them if they know these classes are available. And again, this episode is just touching the surface. We're going to cover 3 programs today, but there are a total of 14 programs that our career and technical education departments offer. And the ones that we're spotlighting today have been enhanced through the innovation department, and Dr. McSweeney leads those innovation efforts. So now engineering, we've covered BioSTEM at Northside, we've covered DAP, Digital Arts Production at JCM. Now I know there's some early engineering opportunities at Madison. Tell us about that.
Yes, so Madison has our first engineering program in the district, and the engineering program is led by Miss Beyer, and we're particularly proud that we have a female engineering teacher.
That is unique.
That is unique in the industry, and it provides a role model for all of our students that anyone can be an engineer. And that class had a waiting list. We were able to fill that class quickly. Those students have toured the Toyota factory, and to have that real, again, authentic learning experience. As often as possible, we want to move them out of the traditional classroom and into those authentic learning environments. And in some cases, that means creating labs, which with our BioSTEM program, we will create a lab. With our DAP program, we have created recording studios. And with our engineering program, we hope to also create an engineering lab. We've purchased some engineering equipment that students can actually experience. We're working with Vex Robotics to bring robotics into the class as well. And again, just that innovative aspect. We know that that's going to be the most important piece for our engineers, for our inventors of tomorrow.
You're listening to For the District. This is episode 10 of the JMCSS podcast. We want to thank Dr. Teresa McSweeney for joining us to educate us and introduce us to some of the new innovative classes and programs within the Jackson-Madison County school system. And Dr. McSweeney, it's another reason, having taught in the classroom just a few years ago, you never want to hear a student on the cusp of graduation telling you, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
We never want that to be a statement. And that's why we have these opportunities really starting in middle school. Or if you want to even pull it back, now so many STEM opportunities and robotics opportunities happening at the elementary school level.
That's right.
We don't want there to ever be a graduate that crosses that stage and says, I don't have an option.
Absolutely.
You may not know what you want to do, but the options will always be there.
Right. And we know that post-secondary education is always an option. But research shows that if you go to post-secondary education, college or a vocational program with an intentional goal, you're more likely to finish. So if you just go to college with, well, that's the next step in my life, then 50% of our college freshmen in Tennessee will drop out the first year. But if we can ensure that they have a plan for what that college degree means for them in terms of career. And then we also really talk about with our CTE teachers within the CTE department, and I think it's a mindset shift nationally, that it's okay to go to work after school. It's okay to have a pathway that takes you straight from high school to a job. Not just okay, but that can be a really great option if you're not 100% sure what you want to do, particularly with college debt. Then go to work at one of our industry partners right here in Madison County that also offer tuition for advancement. So go to work at one of these companies and decide where you fit into that organization. Let that organization pay for your college, and then move on from there. So we really want to make it, we want our students to be certified and to be qualified for those higher paying jobs that are available right here in Madison County already.
Dr. Teresa McSweeney, Chief Innovation Officer for the Jackson-Madison County School System. Dr. McSweeney, will you come back?
Sure. And I'll tell you, I would really love to have our new Director of STEM and Computer Science, Miss Molly Plyler, come back and talk about robotics in our elementary, even in our preschools, and talk about our upcoming robotics tournament. I mean, there's just so much.
We will add a third chair to the set. and we'll have Molly join us. Dr. Teresa McSweeney, our Chief Innovation Officer. If you've heard about a program or class this morning and you're interested, if you want more information, you can request a tour. Send an email to comments@jmcss.org. If you go to our website right now, the first news item you'll see on our website will be about our innovation departments. Because this is a conversation this weekend, it's on the website, but we're going to push it to the front. It'll be the first news item on our website this weekend, our departments of innovation, so you can educate yourself and also educate your children. Dr. McSweeney, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM. We hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.